Hello there, my fellow creatives. We just attended CES 2024 in Vegas last week, and I am now spending some time in LA to go through all of our footage and put together our coverage. For this very trip, and basically for many of the videos you have seen on the channel in the past year, I used one of the most well-received and also one of the more unique laptops of 2023 as my full-on video creation workstation. I am talking about the ROG Zephyrus G14, of course, and together with our German retail partner notebookcheck and NVIDIA, who sponsored today's video, I wanted to take some time to look back at the past 10 months or so with this puppy to talk about why almost everything about it makes it a near perfect little workstation. And yeah, it's mostly about that this is the only 14-incher that comes with a freaking RTX 4090 in a 1.6 kg chassis. It's still hard to wrap my head around it. But of course, it's not solely just about NVIDIA's flagship in this one. Even though the 4090 with its 16 gigs of video memory, all of its hardware its and bits that do make a real difference for a creator and wide software support in the creative industry's most used applications, but it's also about the package that ASUS put together with this one. It all starts with the sleek and subtle chassis. While the Zephyrus is an ROG device, I would still be perfectly fine taking this one to meetings without worrying about raised eyebrows when arriving with a gaming laptop. In addition, the 14-incher is the perfect blend of portability and screen size. In Vegas during CES, my camera bag was already packed with a ton of gear, but I was still always able to fit the G14. And being able to carry your main workstation to whatever appointment you are going to is simply amazing. Alongside the powerful RTX GPU, the G14 comes with Team Red's 7940HS. It is definitely not the fastest CPU you can get in a notebook these days, but most of my applications are much more GPU demanding anyways, and for almost everything else, the 8-core Ryzen silicon is more than fast enough. And thanks to its rather efficient nature, it allows for the powerful GPU in the first place and also for some pretty good runtimes away from the wall. Alongside the powerful core components, I upgraded my unit to 48 gigs of RAM, and I am also planning to actually add one of those new 48GB SODIMMs to get to 64, which would definitely be quite nice when multitasking with several heavy apps like Resolve and After Effects, for example. Unfortunately, the G14 only features one NVMe slot, but I guess this is a necessary trade-off you have to make when going with a smaller chassis. I plan on upgrading to a bigger drive after this trip to reduce the amount of external SSDs I have to work with. That said, the Zephyrus can easily accommodate a whole host of added peripherals thanks to its very robust port selection. For all of our videos, I use a Samsung T7 and a pretty new T9, and having a total of 2 USB-As and a pair of USB-Cs is a godsend when having to deal with lots of drives, card readers and everything else you need on a daily basis. My on-the-go hotel room setup is aided by an external ASUS ProArt screen that has been a tremendous help for when I need a smidge more screen real estate. And with it being pen-enabled for some photo editing work and having all the color profiles you could think of as a creator, it is the perfect addition for a more stationary setup in the hotel rooms of the world. Speaking about displays, what makes the G14 special, amongst all the other things we already talked about, is the 14-inch 165Hz mini LED panel with its 2560 by 1600 resolution. It's the perfect blend of sharpness without overdoing it and sacrificing battery life, like with a 4K panel for example. And while the added contrast and insane brightness levels of the awesome display tech are pretty insane for HDR videos and games, and trust me, it's truly amazing for both of these use cases, for content creation work and especially for color critical stuff, the panel tech is actually less than ideal. That is what I would have said if ASUS hadn't been absolutely great with their software support in their notebooks. And in the Armoury Crate software, you can not only toggle between multi and single zone backlight, which basically means the mini LEDs behave like your standard IPS screen with much more natural color reproduction, but they also add a really good sRGB and DCI-P free color profile. sRGB is especially important if you are grading video footage for YouTube, like I do all the time, especially on a wider than average color gamut display like this one. Without going into too much detail, being able to limit the displayed colors is much more representative of how many of you guys watch our videos, and creating custom color profiles is actually quite a bit of a hassle, so having one built in, well, it's a godsend. I know this is a sponsored video, by NVIDIA no less, but I would actually tell you the very same thing even if it wasn't. Yes, this notebook is a very expensive premium product, but it enables me to do my job almost anywhere and actually without having to compromise or holding me back. And even after about 10 months of using this, I still picked this one up and I am baffled of how much I can do with it, and it's still being so incredibly small and lightweight. But why a 4090, you may ask? Well, for our videos, we shoot all of our content with a Blackmagic cinema camera, which records 6K RAW files. Not only are these files pretty damn massive, but they can be very taxing on the whole system, especially if you apply some grading to them and they eat video memory for breakfast. So having NVIDIA's mobile flagship with its 16GB frame buffer, hardware decoders and its pure GPU grunt to accelerate our timelines for smooth playback makes editing multiple videos per week a breeze. On a 14-inch notebook that weighs 1.6 kg. The times we live in. I know this is only one single use case and a very specialized one at that, but NVIDIA enables GPU acceleration across almost the entire suite of applications used in professional environments in the industry today. Be it in video editing or motion graphics with Resolve, Premiere Pro and After Effects, photo editing with Photoshop and Lightroom, or CGI workflows in Blender, Houdini or even Maya. If you want to learn about how Team Green's GPUs and their studio validation can help you to supercharge your creative workflows, please make sure to follow the links in the description for more details. And if you want to go shopping right away, I have also linked Notebook's billiger selection of studio notebooks down there as well. Alright folks, it's almost time to wrap this one up for today, which was basically a little love letter to this puppy. And please do not get me wrong, the G14 is definitely not your be-all and all notebook. And it's definitely flawed. With less than ideal battery life for its size, it's getting pretty hot to the touch when pushed hard, and again in this config it is also crazy expensive. But it is also unique, since it's about your only choice if you want a small portable notebook without sacrificing in the GPU performance department. And since it seems like ASUS won't refresh it anytime soon, if you want one, better get one before they are gone. But what do you think about stuffing the world's powerful mobile GPU in such a small chassis? Wasted potential or something uniquely awesome? Sound off in the comments below. Until then, thanks a ton for watching, even though this was not our regular review type video. Make sure to hit that like and sub button on your way out. My name is Alex, you have been awesome and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.